Yo, do you ever feel like that getting better is a little hard, or that making progress can be a bit of a grind? Well, what if I told you that there was a way of getting better and it can also be easy? For example, your ability to resell, to pick, to pack, to post, to photo, to list, and to draft. What if all this was very, very easy to do, and to get better at it was only easier as you progressed? Well, in this video, that is what we are talking about today: continuous improvement. And it's actually my approach. Now, to be frank, I don't want to muck you around. I will be honest that everything that I'm about to tell you will make your ability to grow easier, but it will not make it easy. You still have to do the work. You still have to go do the actions, and that's the reality of it. So take what I'm about to share with you and use it in a way which adapts to you, which makes sense to you. Use it as a guideline or a process of principles that can be leveraged. What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the channel. And if you are new here, my name's Chris, and yo, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. And I'm building a business that suits my lifestyle. Now today, as I just mentioned, we are talking about the process for continuous improvement. And that's my process. Now this whole process requires attention, it requires focus. Otherwise, it does not work. And that's the reality of it. Now, if you do stick around, I will give you an update on the business and also a bit of show and tell of how the week has gone. Actually, it's been my best week ever. Let's dive in. Continuous improvement. Now, the whole idea of this is that as you progress, you continually refine, redefine, and adjust and iterate on how you are progressing forwards towards whatever it is that you are doing. Now, I've built a little system that has worked like a charm for me, which has enabled me to continue to refine and make things be a little bit better as I continue to progress. Now, the breakdown of this is essentially you want a time box, you want to reflect and identify, you want to take action, and then you want to rinse and repeat. It is a very simple process, but it does require some focus and attention and work as you progress through it. So the first one being time box. Now, essentially, this would normally refer to allocating a set amount of time to focus on a flow state and to take action. Now, time box, yes, it can be just time relative, or you can actually just focus on an quantity amount. Now, what I mean by this is if I want to understand how much time it's going to take me to photo something, how long it's going to take to prep something, or how long it's going to actually list jeans, for instance, whether it's the first time or whether I've done it 100 times, it doesn't really matter for this principle. However, what I do need to do is I need to make sure I schedule the time or the effort and begin. Now, for instance, an example, and I'm going to be showing you some examples of this as I progress through, but let's say I have 20 pairs of jeans. I could either say, let's see how much I could do within 1 hour, and that is my time box, or let's see how long it's going to take me to do 20 pairs of jeans. Let's to photo them, to prep them, and to get them ready to be photoed in the first place, but also just to go through that end-to-end process. So for an example, you might want to be tracking how long does it take me to do 20 photos of jeans, or how many jeans can I do in 1 hour of photos, or I want to list 20 pairs of jeans, how long is that going to take me, or how many jeans can I list in 1 hour of listing. As you can see, taking a set period of time, getting to a flow state, and working on getting those actions done. Now, when you do this, once you've done it, everything must be done, meaning everything it takes to prep it, get it ready to put up, to take a photo, to actually take the photo, to actually skew it, and actually to pack it away. That's the process that I'm talking about in this point, and that's what I've used. But you might just want to be purely taking photos and seeing how long it takes. Again, you do this regardless of what it allows you to do. If it means it's your first time and you have to do research on how to do it at the same time, make sure you capture that time as well. All right, now you've done a stint of 20 jeans, or you've done an hour of whatever it may be. Now we're going to reflect and identify. Now this is probably the most crucial step. You've done the work, but you now need to reflect and identify what's actually happened during the task. What actually worked during the task. Now we reflect on the results. So what are the results? How long did it take you? How many did you do? More so, what were the takeaways? What were the things that worked well? What were the things that caused a little bit of pressure or a little bit of annoyance? Or what frustrated you while you were doing it? And what slowed you down? But at the same time, what opportunities could you see? Where could you see that if I make a small improvement here, this is going to be so much easier? Now, if you struggle with this process, a little process that I like to use is called rose, thorn, bud. And basically your rose is what worked well. Your thorn is what pricked you, what annoyed you, what didn't work. And then a bud is what opportunity can you see? So you want to write all this down. You want to dot point it and you want to document it so you know what needs to be fixed. Now I'm going to pause right here and show you what this kind of looks like. Now, This was a first example for me when I was taking pictures of jeans. I knew I had a whole bunch of jeans and I wanted to actually go through and understand what is it going to take me to do, how am I going to do this better, but I've never done this before. So I think I had 20 at the time, and I knew that I wanted to see what I could do within 1 hour. It might have actually been I only had 15. Regardless, it took me 58 minutes and 25 seconds to do 15 pairs of jeans. So that's photoing. So that's taking front, back, inside, outside, all that jazz, taking measurements, writing it down on a whiteboard, and then also skewing it and putting it into a bagging, skewing and storage system. Now with this, I documented a whole bunch of issues, and you can see it here. The first time it was uncomfortable at the toes, standing. I'm using a back standing to take the photos. It was feeling a bit too high. There was a few issues getting the items on the coat hanger. The lighting needed to be better. The photo steps needed to be documented just so I knew in the flow what needed to happen. And the skew change needed to be purely incremental. At the time I wasn't doing my new skew system, but I was figuring it out as I go. And that's what I did. I documented it, I tracked the time, I knew what my productivity was. It was about 15.4 per hour, which was pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. Now, naturally, I did the same thing with those 15 going into a listing process. Capturing the same information, it took me 1 hour and 10 to do the 15 to list them, but I also had to learn what the brands were, as you can see in the notes. I had to learn what the brands were, I had to learn what the styles were, I had to know what men's were, I had to figure out what women's was. I had to understand how can I do better photo lighting, because when I was looking in post, meaning when I was putting them up, uploading pictures, the color or the condition of the photos wasn't really representing what I wanted to share. Thus, I knew I had to make some improvements. And that's where the next step comes in. Take action. Now you know what worked. Now you know what didn't work. So now you have to do some homework. You have to take the information that you've just documented, that you've just witnessed firsthand, and you need to leverage it. You need to see what you can take from that and fix it. Now, my approach to this can be, you can either go full in and fix everything, or you can kind of tackle things of most priority in terms of frustration. But regardless, you need to adjust as you need to, and you want to focus on the quick wins first. So the trick here is this: don't overwhelm yourself. If there's lots of issues, just focus on the quick wins first, then focus on the priority of pain, the thing that caused the biggest frustration. What was the biggest problem? That's the thing you want to eliminate first, because it will probably be the biggest thing to save you time or effort. Remove that first, the biggest problem, and then you can work on fixing the smaller things and adjusting the smaller things, because you might find that the big problem actually might have had more issues coming off it because you were just frustrated. So remove that first and then work on the other little things that need to be adjusted, and if they're super important, or if there was a one-time issue or not. Okay, so you've made some adjustments. Now you're going to do it again. You're going to take another subsample of clothing, or you're going to have another session of 1 hour, whatever it may be. You're going to do it again, but this time you've got learnings, you've got adjustments, you've put in some experience, but you've also made the whole process a little bit better. You've adjusted the lighting, you've got a new backing board, or you've adjusted the height, or you've changed the way you'll do your photos in order, or you've moved things quicker. Now you don't have to move as much. You get my point. You've now made adjustments. So you're going to do it again, you're going to document again, and you're going to apply it again. And that's the process. So my challenge to you will be, you need to probably do this for a period of time. You need to do it over maybe 10 iterations, maybe 4 weeks, but you need to do it consistently, and you need to find what makes sense to get a relevant amount of data that makes sense to help you be able to see what's working, what isn't. Now, I've got some examples of this. I've been doing it over a long period of time, and I've got some examples of jeans and shirts here, as you can see. Now with these, what I find very, very interesting, now these are over a couple of months, about 8 weeks or so. The jeans, you can see here, I've got the number of items that I photoed per session, items per hour that I did per session, and then the average per hour. Now, as you can see, the longer time that I spent doing it, or the number of jeans that I spent doing, I actually was more productive. Let me say that again. The more jeans that I did in a single sitting, taking photos, the more productive I was, meaning I got more done per hour. And then my average, as you can see, has started to plateau out, and I'm finding it that I'm sitting at about 18, 19 pairs of jeans per hour. Now, I haven't done a big batch of this because I've actually got someone else now doing it for me. But the reality was, before I wanted someone to be able to come in and do this, I needed to understand how long does it take me to do at a good, consistent basis. So how long can I expect it for them to be? Now, I did this from zero scratch, meaning I hadn't done bulk jeans before. I had never done that before. I'd done 1 or 2 here and there, but you can't really take that data and expand it. I needed to be able to spend, a good 6 weeks and understand, will this work for me? How can I make this work for me? So how can I then replicate it for someone else? And as you can see here, it's been quite lucrative as I've consistently showed up. The longer I've done it, the better the result and the more consistent the result. Now, similarly, in a similar case for the shirts, it was about the same. The more items I photoed, the more items I did per hour, because I just got into a flow state. You were able to do that repetition, what needed to be done, and your mind just comes, it just gets into that routine, like auto mode. And again, as I've progressed, my time's actually gotten a little bit better and my averages started to plateau out, and that sits about the same, about 19 to almost 20 items per hour. Again, very, very happy with this, and I was using this model to then replicate to be able to see if I can do this from zero scratch, someone else can too, and I could probably expect them to even do it better because they'll start to perform in a way that makes sense for them. So I've now been doing this same approach for my person that's working for me, and we would document each time what was working for them, what wasn't, how can we adjust it, how can we make it better, because everyone works a little bit different, but doing the same process, I've been able to increase that time to help get my return on investment that little bit better. Now, if you do have questions about this, do let me know, but this is a simple little template. You can use detailed ones or you can use very basic. Now, again, this is very specific to my small business in reselling, and I've done this purely focused on clothing, but you can do this for anything. You can do it for DVDs, you can do it for books, you can do it for anything that helps you track and understand what's working, what isn't. The idea is you're capturing the problems, you're capturing the issues, addressing the issues, you're fixing the problems, and you're reiterating it again, and it means you're able to progress so much quicker because you're not just trying to do a workaround, you're actually hitting the nail on the head, and you're able to move quicker sooner than later. Alright, and that is my continuous improvement process. Now, if you've stuck around this long, I do have some show and tell, and I also want to give you some updates on the business, how the week has gone for week 110. Let's dive in. So week 110 has been a very, very rewarding week, and as I said before, earlier at the start of this video, it has been my best week ever, coming from last week, which was a roller coaster. I was down 54%, I think it was. This week, I've actually supercharged ahead, and I've done over $3,000 for my best week yet. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but some of the cool items and top items for this week have been very interesting, and it's good to see what's going out the door. So the top item number one for this week was this Sony PlayStation 2 Slim Console box. Now, I picked this one up from an average cost of good for $12.12, probably about 4 or 5 episodes ago on my sourcing fodder series. I did pay up for it. Average cost of good, as I said, came out to be about $12. I've been able to sell it for $162 and walked away with about $107 back into my pocket after fees and postage. Top item number two for this week was this Sims big box lot of 6 different expansion packs. This one, it was so cheap. Seriously, I could not believe how cheap I got this. I got all of these from an average cost of good perspective of around $3.89. Now, the reason for this is because I had a big purchase day that day, which meant the quantity of items brought down the amounts that I paid per item. Now, to be fully frank and to be fully honest, each item did cost me about $4 each, but because I got so many items that day, it's averaged out. Just to be clear, I don't want to be saying that I'm dodging my numbers. I follow an average cost of good approach. Now, I sold all these for $116 and walked away with around $77.94 after fees and postage. Top item number 3 for this week was this Wrangler denim button-up shirt. Now, this one was a pearl snap. I paid $12 for this one, and someone has come through and paid $123 for this. That includes postage to, I think it was US. I've walked away with $75.61 after fees and postage, which is just incredible. And top item number 4 is a book. You know me, I love my books, and what's even better is when you get books for free. This book, The Genesis Record, I picked up for free probably a year and a few months back, and someone was getting rid of a whole bunch. I said, I'll take them. This one sat for a very long time. I had it listed at $60 because I knew that's what it was worth, plus postage. However, hadn't been selling, so I unlisted it, relisted it, did some tweaks, and I listed it for $30 or $40. Someone came through that same week internationally, paid full price plus postage. I got $79.70 for it and walked away with $51.65 back into my pocket after fees and postage. Not too bad. So in terms of what actually has been selling this week, well, as you can see here, we've done a total of 80 items. Video games, books, clothes, and jeans have been the winner for the week. Clothes and jeans being separated, clothes being shirts, jeans and pants being jeans and pants. But as you can see, The clothes and jeans together have brought in just under $1,000 of revenue, which is just incredible because I wasn't doing this about 8-12 weeks ago. So that opportunity is like no other. Now, video games, I have been picking up quite a few video games of recent and they've been paying off for this week. But books, again, not really an outlier. It continues to show up and give me some good results with $708 worth of revenue coming in. You can see all the profit here as well. Now, in terms of the entire week and how we have progressed, well, as I said, it's been a very, very rewarding week. I've had a total of 80 sales. Margin was 46%, but cost of goods was only $376, bringing in a total of $3,158 of revenue. And profit-wise, I've walked away with almost 50%, $1,456. Now, this is gross profit. This is not net. Obviously, I've got some underlying costs that come out on a monthly basis. If you want to see what that looks like, I share that on a monthly basis. ASP for this week was $39.49, and average cycle time worked out to be about 86 days for an item to sell, sat around before it sold. Not too bad. All right, and that is week 110, very rewarding week. And again, I want to be very, very honest here because last week it was an emotional roller coaster around things weren't working out. I wasn't getting the progress I wanted. I wasn't hitting the targets that I wanted. This week has made up for it. The same principle applies though. You got to continue to charge on. Will I get this next week? Probably not. Do I want this next week? Yes, I do. But I got to continue to pump in with new stock, better stock, stuff that sells, and in theory, it should work. And that is my process. All right, team, if you do want to see some show and tell, we're going to jump into that now, and then we'll wrap it up. Howdy folks, Monday morning. Just been to my little sourcing morning route and actually got diddly squat. Got one shirt. This is actually from the other day, so going to be just cleaning them up and getting them listed today. But really what my focus is today is my helper, or the person working for me, has done all this. Another big tub, so I'm going to be bringing that over across to in here. Filling up this one, and I'll start on this one. So we're really going hard, guys. That's what I'm going to be doing, and then I'll be doing a couple of photos and stuff, and then I'll get back into picking, packing, and posting. So just sold this guy as well. I don't know, 51 I think it was. I do have some people interested in this overseas, but I said postage was going to be a bit of a pain just because they are a bit broad and you want to make sure that they're really well looked after. So they said they'll wait a bit. Yeah, just another day at the office, fellas. Just another day. Let's get cracking. Alright team, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. We've got Pokemon card going out in there. Clothing, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of clothing. We've got this little guy going out. Some DVDs, some Blu-rays. That was the top sale for the week. We've got more videos, VHS. South Park, he went pretty good. Picked it up just the other day. These two going out together. We've got a destroyed book going out that still sold. This one is actually, I'm not going to use names because I don't know what they want me to say, but this one has actually gone to a long-time viewer, and they're actually also an eBay seller themselves, so I really do appreciate the love. You know who you are. Got a whole bunch of SVU books going out, and actually it took a bit longer than I wanted to. It took me about 11 minutes and 50 seconds to get out 27 bundles, I think it was, and 27 lots. This guy took me forever to find, and it was because I hadn't put him in the right spot from when I moved over. So rookie mistake, but you know, I'm still fixing up things from since I moved over. This is part of the business world. And then some more SVU stuff. This old dog's going out, and a quick cheapy James Patterson Private Vegas going out. So not too bad, team. We're going to start picking, packing, and we're going to start packing it all up. I'm going to watch a video from Ethan Rushock in the background. Let's get cracking. Alright team, that is a wrap. Actually, I didn't save what the time took. Let's have a look. We'll do this real time. I never took a screenshot of it. There we go, 1 hour and 25 minutes for 27 packages, I think it was. Not too bad, all going out here. I'm a happy chap. Actually, to be honest, I'm feeling a bit flat. Just a bit tired and just trying to go hard, and it's very frustrating when you don't get the results you want, but it comes. You got to trust the process. I spoke about that last week. All right, let's charge on. Howdy team, Thursday, just been in here already doing a bit of work, just taking it easy, but we've got 25 items to go out, and we just pulled them out in 7 minutes and 29 seconds, so we've got a whole bunch of different stuff. We've got some video game stuff, we've got a whole bunch of books. These are Kim Harrison, they do well if you've got a lot. Some games, vintage robot from the other day, a whole bunch of books here, these are all different, a couple of DVDs. We've got Octo going out. These Sims these Sims expansions sold for 120. Pair of shoes, a couple of CDs, Doctor Who shirt, and then this is all the clothing. This is stuff that I've just been listing in the last couple of weeks. Like, this is done by my worker. There's a couple of really good jeans going out here. These sold together. This bundle right here is one bundle of jeans. It's like $500, $600 of value just in clothing, just right there from what I wasn't doing 6 weeks ago. So it's just incredible. And they've also got this big bundle of full drive DVDs going out as well. So that one's gone for, actually it hasn't gone for too much. It's only gone for about, I think it was $60. So just got it moving. Yeah, and a big shout out to John Francis, because he was my first, I've had a few people buy some single packs, but last night on my live stream I did my first, basically buy a box and I'll break it open live, and he got some pretty good hits in here, so this one's going out to him. Appreciate you, mate. This went for $109 and that's posted, everything shipped to him. So thank you, sir. And I believe you got promoted, so congrats. Yeah, it's doing pretty well, guys. It's doing pretty well. I'm going to pack all this up and then get out of here. Big win for the week is hitting this milestone. Next milestone is 30,000, so pretty good. Let's do it. All right, team, all done. 1 hour and 34 minutes. We've got it's a total of 23 packages. It was 27 orders all together, all this except for that. And yeah, I'm ready for bed, to be honest. I'm done. Busy stuff. All right, team, we will see you on the flip side. Ciao. So there you go. It has been a solid week. It's been an interesting week, progressing, learning, trying new things. And all in all, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty content with this. It's crazy how quickly things can change. Again, I can't say that this is going to happen every week, but in terms of progress and the conviction of what I want for this year, 2023, I've got some big goals. I want $100,000, then I want to hit $160,000, and I've got a stretch goal of $250,000. And it's not about the money, it's more about seeing what I can do to get there, building processes, getting connections, building relationships, and all that jazz. So really do appreciate you being here. You have a wonderful day. Cheers.